Hi guys and welcome to I'm a Biker. This is me, and in front of you this is the new KTM 160 Duke. So let's get into the details, and as usual first let's do a launch. Woo. Okay, not mind-bending amounts of power and speed, but yeah, this is a 160, and that is precisely what it's for. This bike is for you to enjoy your first step into the KTM family without breaking the bank, without having uncontrollable amount of power, and while still having the great handling. I mean, it is not slow by any means. This is still the most powerful 160. So it's the most powerful bike in the segment. So that itself is a big deal. But yeah, it's not insanely powerful that it will create problems for you. I see a lot of people having their first bike as a Duke 390, and yeah, it takes some getting used to, because that is some power to tame, right? Yeah, so about this 160 Duke. Yeah, so this is based on the 200 platform, which means, which doesn't mean it's old. It's basically 200 platform has been evolving over the years, and so it is based on that. The design, the looks, the sharper looks. The 160, they decided to keep it with the sharper looks and not go to the Gen 3 looks. They retained it with the Gen 2 looks. I think the sharper look is what most youngsters will also identify with. Alright, let's get ahead of these guys, ruining all my... Yeah, we were talking about the looks, right? So what do you think? Do you think they should have gone to the Gen 3 looks instead of the Gen 2 looks? Let me know in a comment. Alright, so 164cc doesn't sound like much, but 19 PS is pretty powerful considering this segment. And that said, 15.5 Nm of torque is not bad as well. You have roughly about 80% of that torque coming in at roughly around 4,000 RPM. So that is plenty, and that should in fact help you, with good city traffic riding with the pillion. Also, things will not get boring. Let me just take a U-turn so that we get to ride on these beautiful roads again. All right. I saw there that the turning radius is quite good. Yeah, so the power, I think more interesting than this being the most powerful 160 segment motorcycle is the fact that it is only 147 kgs, and that's the curb weight, mind you. And that is beautiful. I mean, most of the buyers for this bike realistically are going to be 18, 19-year-olds. It's going to be their first bike. They don't want something heavy. They don't want something with explosive power. They're going to need something which is easy to handle, light. It's got decent mileage. The 390s are notorious for their mileage. If you really gun it, that comes down to like roughly about the 20s. But yeah, when you ride the 160, you're going to get much above that. KTM says 40 as the claimed mileage, but yeah, I'm thinking something about 34 is more realistic. I'm sure if you ride it like sane, like it very sane, like 50-60 all the time without revving it hard all the time, I'm sure you will reach closer to that 40 mark. But yeah, I'm sure there are guys who will come and comment below like I got 50. But yeah, but then that's not the way to ride this bike. This bike is meant to have fun on, and have good rev happy, a good rev happy life. And speaking about the rev happy life, so this has got a single overhead camshaft system. So when I said it is derived from the Duke 200, that has got a DOHC. But does that affect this one's rev happy nature, or the KTM's rev happy nature? No, this one still revs quite fast. I mean, it's not as explosive as the 200. Yeah, it's not. But yeah, it is still quite happy. It still feels like a KTM. It doesn't feel lazy. So that's what's one interesting thing. Next, I have to talk about refinement and the way it sounds. It sounds so different from what you would expect. The first time I switched it on, and I'm like, hey, this sounds so much refined. Hey monkeys. Whoa. It sounds so much more refined than a KTM, the KTMs that we're used to. I mean, in fact, I would say it sounds even more refined than the 390. It's got that very, I want to say, Honda-ish feel. Yeah, but of course, if you rev the beans out of it, it's going to throw up some vibes in the handlebars, footpegs, near the tanks, etc. But yeah, it's got a very refined overall feel to it. Yeah, and I come to Nandi Hills, and I come the last couple of months with several bikes. Primarily, I have all been in that Bajaj 400cc ones, so all strong mid-range ones. So this feels naturally a little bit slower because I'm comparing it to that. But I feel this is so much more nimble. Alright, that's my favorite corner. I always have to go for it. Yeah, and by that I feel it's I mean, I thought I would feel quite what do you say, tight on this bike, because I'm 5'11", and when you have a big guy sitting on a medium-sized bike, you kind of feel quite tight on it, right? But I'm quite happy. The guy didn't even move. Crazy fellow. And it's a blind corner. It's not like I can go to the other side. Anyway, I was saying, I'll stop clipping. It doesn't feel small for me. It feels fine. I wouldn't mind thinking of the idea of this being a daily commuter bike, something that is nimble and decently fast for the daily commute. Not bad. I mean, the riding stance is quite comfortable. I mean, foot pegs are real shit, but yeah, but I wouldn't. That's not a big problem. You're sitting upright, so it's still quite nice. So I'm sure people of different heights will also quite enjoy it and wouldn't find it a problem at all. Alright, so coming to build quality, yeah, there are some plastic bits, like for example the one over here, some bits here and there that that show that this has been built to a cost, but these are not deal breakers. I'm happy that they've been able to price it quite decently. Yeah, and speaking about the pricing, so 1.85 lakhs ex-showroom. Do you know some of the motorcycle which it has got the same ex-showroom price? Yeah, that is the NS 400Z. Well, the new version has gone up to like 197. The previous one was, the first gen was launched at 1.85. So a tough choice for people, right? Do you want the KTM brand and 19 PS of power, or do you want the Pulsar brand with 40 PS of power? now 42 PS of power. Oh, so yeah, tough choice, huh? Tough choice. I wouldn't want to be in that shoe because I don't know, I somehow like the sharper looks of the Gen 2. But it all depends on what you want from the motorcycle. Let's go back down. Yeah, but again, yeah, like I said before, the first time buyers, yeah, I would just recommend this. This has got all the bragging rights. You have a KTM, you got the sharp, sexy looks. It won't break your bank. It won't hurt your wallet in terms of daily maintenance of petrol and things like that. Parts are always going to be cheap. KTM Bajaj things. And yeah, I think quite fun. It revs nice, it shifts down so beautifully. I love rev matching motorcycles, and this does it so well without any struggle. The longer piston ones usually struggle while rev matching, but yeah, the happy revvy ones always. This sounds so good. This sounds so good. Alright, see, it revs quite well. It revs quite well. It feels fast. It feels fast. But when I look down, and I'm doing like 70. So probably, I mean, that is the whole idea, right? You want to be feeling fast rather than be going dangerously fast, especially when it's going to be a first bike. So I think this is right, exactly what the doctor ordered. Alright, so there are a bunch of changes compared to the Duke 200. It's a slightly sharper rake, the handlebars a little bit have been mounted basically at 12 mm lower. A lot of material changes. The alloy wheels are different, to make them lighter. The rear seat is slightly bigger so that even if you have a pillion, they're more comfortable. And 10-liter tank, yeah, but yeah, city use only, right, this bike, so I think that should be just about fine. A lot of places they have done bits and bobs to keep the weight low. One interesting thing is that the TFT display, this is what you get as stock, but if you want the connectivity, one second, my corner is here. So we were talking about the display, and so if you want the full connected features, you need to buy an additional Bluetooth module, and that's going to be roughly about 5,100 bucks. And it's a very straightforward fit. It's not too complicated to fit it, so it's not a problem. But yeah, do you want all of that? Would you rather use your phone? I would rather use my phone. I mean, small arrows popping up here and there. My phone would be any day more comfortable. Yeah, so save those 5,000 bucks. Don't really waste it, unless bragging rights, of course. All right, so guys, so I'll just summarize what the 160 Duke is all about. It handles well. It is a proper KTM. It feels happy to rev. It is decently fast. For a 160, don't feel that the KTM should have been always be faster. No, this is the correct entry point for a first time KTM buyer, and without overwhelming power to handle. So, and coming to handling, it handles exactly how you would expect a KTM to handle. Light, sharp, the scalpel that we call the KTM. Yeah, this is still that. It handles well. The tires offer decent grip. They are a good balance between grip and longevity, because it's not an outright performance motorcycle, right? So the rear is a 140 section now. So from the 150 when you see on the 200s and above. But yeah, that doesn't matter. I think for the purpose of this bike, it is just exactly fine. And yeah, so we're expecting realistic mileage close to 30-35, unless somebody is riding for mileage, and maybe close to 40. But yeah, looks on point, feels light. I would really recommend this as a first bike, a first entry into the KTM family. And yeah, that's about it. If you have any questions, do let me know in a comment below, and for sure I'll get back to you with all the answers that you need. See ya, guys. That's nice. Super clutch doing its job. Alright guys, thank you, and I'll see you next one.